Batman Arkham City was one of the biggest games to come out last year. It was a sequel to the highly acclaimed Batman Arkham Asylum, so it was needless to say that tongues were wagging at the announcement of an open world sequel. It turned out to be a good one too, as Arkham City did turn out to be one of the biggest releases of 2011. And despite any issues with the pacing of the storytelling that I personally had with the game, it was a fantastic release. So it was obvious such a huge release was going to get a whole bunch of downloadable content to keep people coming back for more. And it did, in the form of additional characters that could be used in challenge maps, which was slightly underwhelming to be honest. But now, just when everyone's starting to forget about Arkham City, we've been presented with the game's first story-based expansion in the form of Harley Quinn's Revenge. While this DLC is an addition to the game's main story, it doesn't actually affect the main game in any way. Rather, it's just an option to pick from the main menu. The bite-sized campaign takes place about a week or so after the end of the main game, so this is a warning. If you're still getting around to playing Arkham City and don't want the ending ruined for you, it'd be probably best to shut off this now and go do it. So at this point it's been a week since the Joker died and Batman hasn't been the same since. We hear this from Oracle and Robin as he enters the now evacuated Arkham City Asylum. Apparently Batman has been missing for 2 days now after going into the steel mill that served as the Joker's hideout during his time incarcerated there. It's during this part of the game where the player is given control of Robin. Robin isn't entirely new to players. Those that spent any time in the Riddler's Revenge challenge mode should be well acquainted with his array of combat and equipment abilities. Tim Drake does have a few unique abilities, such as a shield on his bow staff that can be used to block incoming fire and boiling steam. He also has access to snap flashes, which are essentially small concussion mines that can be used on anything from conveniently placed cranes to the enemies themselves. While Robin does share a number of gadgets with Batman such as batarangs and explosive gel, he's ultimately less equipped than the Cape Crusader, making the combats and the Predator mode sections that much trickier. It doesn't take Robin very long to find evidence that Batman has been in the mill and has been captured by Harley and her thugs. It's at this point where the game flashes back to 2 days previous and we take control of Batman once again, who is returning to Arkham to take down the escaped Harley and free the cops.
Just keep the damn site covered.
The DLC does this several times, jumping back and forth between Batman and Robin as the story progresses. It seems to endeavour to add every little quirk and gameplay feature seen throughout the main game, adding several combat and Predator sections while also giving the players a chance to explore while looking for a number of the Harley Quinn balloons scattered throughout the map. It also makes token use of the detective mode that I still think could have been utilised much better in the main game. There are 1 or 2 little Easter eggs to find too, which is one of the things I enjoy most about these Batman games. There are so many little extras all over the place for anyone who has a mind to find them. Pretty much everything else within the game remains the same, although if you pick this up after not playing Arkham City for as long as I did, you might find that your fluid expertise of combat or unrivaled subtlety in Predator modes have gotten a little rusty, and you'll find yourself dying. A lot.
You're gonna pay for letting Mr. J die!
From the earlier promotional material surrounding this piece of DLC, it looked like it was trying to come from a much darker place in regards to the character of Harley Quinn, who's now in mourning for the Joker. While Harley is most known for being loud-mouthed, airheaded and devoted to Mr. J, Harley's Revenge almost looked like it was going to take the character down a much darker and unfamiliar path. Sadly, this all falls completely flat, because aside from a little runny makeup and a ratty veil, it's only the same old Harley. I suppose this isn't ground that should be trodden in a 2 to 3 hour piece of DLC, but nonetheless it would have been intriguing. Harley Quinn's Revenge is a nice little addition to the Arkham Asylum series main storyline. In the end though, it really doesn't do anything or add anything to the story other than to reinforce Batman's sort of depression after the death of the Joker. And in the end, I can't really recommend anyone buy this unless you're desperate for something new to play in Arkham. While this piece of DLC, like the rest of the game, is very well produced and generally satisfying, it doesn't bring anything new to the table in reality, and it's just more of the same. It's really a missed opportunity with the Harley Quinn character in my opinion. So pick it up if you want to, but I wouldn't feel too bad about giving this a miss either.